congratulations. First of all, I was rooting for you, so I was very excited that you won. I always root for the underdog, so I was like, this is so, what a game. I mean, the entire game was incredible. And the gutsy moves, every play y'all did was gutsy and brave, and especially that one. And you called that, right?
Yeah, it's just sort of a gut feeling. Coach Peterson and I had talked about it, and we had talked about it a couple of days before when we want to do it. Second half, different situation, but 4th and 1 in the Super Bowl, you're going against the Patriots. You're going to have to do some stuff that is sort of risky to win this game.
Right.
And, you know, the Philly special came to mind and went over there and asked him, and Coach Peterson, you know, being the, great coach he is, he's like, all right, let's do it. I mean, that worked.
So, I mean, the whole thing, is it a blur, or do you remember, that feeling when that happened?
Yeah, I mean, the feeling, it's, the feeling of playing the Super Bowl, that's a question you're asked, friends ask you, and it's just, it is surreal. It was a dream as a kid, and to, do something like that in the Super Bowl, I mean, we were so fortunate to be a part of it, and just to be the underdogs, like you said, just everything that happened, it's been unreal, and I've really had a time the last couple of days of just getting away, resting, to just sort of reflect with my family and just sit there and just be like, what just happened? This is unbelievable.
So like that night, because you play the, first of all, the night before, can you sleep the night before?
I sleep really well before games.
Yeah. And then that night, can you sleep after? I mean, that must
No, did not sleep for 3 days.
Yeah.
No. I was too excited.
Wow, and your daughter was just listening to music the whole time, didn't even...
She had more interesting things to listen to,
she doesn't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be able to share and have that picture to show her when she grows up to say, you were part of Dad won the Super Bowl. I mean, that's...
I know. There she is.
All alone on the field, you left her, and...
She's somewhere.
Yeah. So, and then you did these interviews afterwards, and you talked about failures, which I love that you did that. And people would say why, but explain why.
I think I spoke from the heart. I spoke from my experience. I was going to stop playing the game 2 years ago. There was different things that had gone on in my life, my wife and I, and in my career as well, to where I lost the joy of the game. And I can't do something unless my heart's in, especially the game of football. That's a 7-day-a-week job. You got everyone depending on you. When you play quarterback, you're in the huddle, you're doing everything. It's like, if I don't love this and it's not in my heart, I can't do it.
Right.
And I didn't touch a football for a long time. And then I had my family there to support me, my wife there to support me through it all. And, it wasn't that, my wife wrote me a letter, and in the letter she just talked about, wanting me to go back and play, but not to be out there and play, but because she knew I wasn't finished yet, that she knew that I had so much going on in my heart that I had to face my fear, basically, because it was almost paralyzing to go back and play. And, I prayed about it, and I realized that the tougher decision, the thing I was more afraid of, was to go back and play. I would have been fine going a different way in life, and I would have done whatever and helped people in any which way possible, but I knew to make more growth, I had to go back in and face that fear and face my failures. And I did it, and there was never an aha moment. It was a tough decision, and when I took a step in that faith, I still was like, this is gonna be tough. I don't know if this is the right decision, but I did it, and it was the 4th day of training camp with the Kansas City Chiefs where all of a sudden a veil was lifted and the joy came back in my heart. I remember I broke down one morning, I was journaling, and I always read the Bible in the morning and journal, and I remember just crying because I was like, I love the game of football again, but it was a different feel. It was a totally different feel because of what I had gone through, and it was those failures. And as athletes, we have an opportunity to speak about it, because I feel like athletes, we try to be perfect, and we're not. We fail just like anyone else. We have issues like everyone else. We have life. Life happens. And it's okay to share those things, because I think that's what makes us strong, is overcoming those failures.
Yeah, I agree. Great. Well said. That's great. So we're going to take a break. I know that Drew Brees texted you right before the game. What a great guy he is, right?
And I know you love Drew.
I do.
As you should. He is
a good man. Yep. There's his jersey. I mean, that really kind of got me into the game of football because I hadn't really been paying attention until they made it to the Super Bowl.
That's awesome.
And now I'm obsessed. And
That's awesome.
But I was like, that's why I was just so impressed with you and how you played in the game. And I agree with you. I think failures build, it's cliche, but builds character in a way that you don't have unless you have failure. If people just succeed and
Absolutely.
you have to have failures. So.
Absolutely.